Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our How To Corner. This is Will Gray III, and today we're going to talk about how does the meniscus work, and we're going to use JJ McCarthy as the focus. So, for everybody who's been here before or people who are just finding us, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you can get more information from us. And when our stuff drop, you'll be the first to get it. So, today's episode is powered by, as usual, 3Gen Sports Science Institute. And if you have any questions or anything like that you want us to cover going forward, please leave your questions in the comments, and we'll be sure to hop into those questions and be able to get them answered for you. So, the learning things, the learning outcomes that we're trying to cover in this talk, just three simple ones. What does the meniscus do? How are they injured while playing sports? What are the surgical and non-surgical treatments for this injury? And like I said earlier, we're going to be using JJ McCarthy as the person of focus today's talk. The reason that we chose him is because he has had a recent injury of his knee, his right knee. And for anybody who does not know who he is, he's the 2023 QB for the Michigan Wolverines. They were the college football national champions last year, and he was 10th overall first round pick by the Minnesota Vikings. And recently he suffered a torn meniscus, they believe, of his right knee. And he's in a place where in football, this happens, right? And he had a very promising day, from what I understood, when he played last week. So to get this news after all of that has occurred, it's probably, been kind of tough for him and probably had a damper on the season for the Minnesota Vikings because he's the franchise quarterback. So in today's episode, we're going to focus on him, but we're going to talk about the meniscus so you all get a better understanding of how they approach the surgeries or non-surgical treatments. But like I said, man, it's really heart-wrenching for that kid. So I'm wishing him the best, and we hoping that after this talk, you can be more informed about what to do and how the meniscus work. And if you ever have this injury, what you should expect. So let's first talk about the meniscus. It acts as a cushion for the joint, displaces all the joint forces, and then it also acts as a stabilizer for the knee with the tibia and the femur, basically having a way to be able to be stabilized and together using the negative pressure of the suction the meniscus provides. So visualize that when you're jumping or cutting, the meniscus makes sure that all the forces are displaced properly in conjunction with the muscles to produce movement or accept load in that plane of motion. So if I'm playing football and I'm cutting, I'm going left to right, or I'm back juking or whatever, the meniscus plays a role in that motion occurring without pain, but also making sure the force that has been generated from the ground is being able to produce the movement that you want by keeping everything where it's supposed to be. So visualize that you're bending and extending your knee during this exercise above. The meniscus or the menisci are working in collectively to be able to, quote unquote, make sure everything moves properly, right? Now, the next thing that I want to get to is a more visual representation of this. So this is meniscus. Those red arrows that I drew horribly show you those meniscus or menisci in your knee, right? You see how they look like a cushion almost, and you see how the femur, which is the top bone, sits on top of the meniscus to provide that stability, but also that surface for the femur to be suctioned into to keep it attached to the tibia. Now, the next thing I want to progress to is a visual representation of the knee and how it moves. See how it bends and goes back and forth. And those red arrows are showing you the positions of the meniscus, right? And literally where they located it. I know they do not move with the video like I want them to, but that's fine. But this is what you're trying to overcome when you're having a meniscus injury. Those two little guys serve a big purpose. As a result, the mechanism of injury for most of these meniscus injuries of any kind is usually from twisting, bending, and extension movement when considering non contact injuries, meaning that nobody has landed on your knee or jumped into your knee. You planted, leg went one way, your body went the other way, right? So, with that, visualize grabbing your knee after feeling a pop. All right, it's very scary. And that pop usually comes from one of these movements, whether you're twisting, bending, or extending your knee when you're running, planting, cutting, or doing any simple activities. Believe it or not, just kneeling. All right. Now, the question is, what's next? Now, we're going to get back to focusing on JJ McCarthy. They are hoping that the best, they're hoping for the best and will plan to perform a non invasive treatment that could work for him, meaning conservative treatment, do some therapy, some strengthening, some range of motion, some modalities like heat, ice, some stimulation of some kind, some electrical stimulation to be able to promote healing over a 4 to 6 week period. If these treatments do not work, or imaging finds more damage than surgery is the best option. I believe that JJ McCarthy will probably need more time to recover from his surgery than expected due to the fact that those type of injuries, especially weird ones that show up, you tend to be a little bit more concerned about them because they were non-contact in nature. And usually with imaging or surgery, you tend to find the realness when you get into the knee. It's not ideal, right? Obviously, not ideal, but hey, part of playing football, injuries happen. And I really hope that after this talk, you all was able to take something from this talk. I kept it kind of short and simple on purpose. I just wanted to hit the high points of what a meniscus is, what does it do, the mechanism of injury, and then include JJ's issue into that, which is that he may have a long road from recovery than people, really think. And I don't know, what is quote unquote going on with him, personally myself. This is me speaking from a bird's eye view, but based on what I'm seeing, I really think that people should be a little bit more patient when it comes to this injury with this guy because this can impact everything about his career going forward. And with that, guys, thank you so much for pressing play, listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Like I said before, if you have any issues of any kind and you want to get us to basically evaluate you a little bit or give you some tips on how to get better, you can always visit us as 3GN. That's III-GEN.com/booking, or hop onto our Instagram page, send us a DM, and we will definitely respond. But again, thank you guys for pressing play, and I hope you have a blessed one. I'll catch you in the next one.